Alright, Schlockmeister fans, another re-review from my previous channel. It's Crypt of the Living Dead, otherwise known as Hannah. Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. Let's watch.
Oh, Hannah, coming and famous with such love.
Our movie starts with the tomb of Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. Alright, we're in some village somewhere. And this man has found this tomb where Hannah, Queen of the Vampires, rests. There are perils around every turn. Finally, the dude does make it to the tomb. It's what he's been searching for, and by golly, he's found it. But still, he's having a bitch of a time. So they choked and killed him. Now they're going to hide him underneath the tomb. Basically squish him. Fast forward some short time later, and the archaeologist's son, played by Andrew Prine, has come to investigate what happened to his dad.
Oh, don't feel badly about that, just because you're a stranger here. I've been here over a year. They still consider me an outsider.
They don't have to worry about me. Do you mean that she was supposed to have been a vampire?
So goes the myth.
Oh, I see. Vampires are never supposed to die, so she's in that tomb, fangs and all, ready to go after 700 years. But the king's orders were followed. She was buried alive and forever in the marble tomb. Well, I'm going to move that tomb.
So he wants to get his daddy out of that tomb. He might have some difficulties too. There's a lot of strangeness going around in this town. Meanwhile, this is Mary. She's a teacher there.
And India. And now, I want you to remember, it was the only family I had. Your father was a good friend.
Darwin and vampires. Hell of a combination. What was my father after that scares you so much? Breaking the seal.
You can't.
He does get to the tomb eventually.
Otherwise, this tomb must weigh 3 tons. We've got to move it in 2 sections.
Well, they open her up and take a look at her, and she looks pretty good for 700 years old. Also looks a little bit like that teacher. Of course, the minute they leave the tomb, she opens her eyes.
Who's out there? Bonnie? Bonnie! Don't you go near there.
Bonnie is the dog. Kidnapped.
It's all right. It's all right. He's gone.
Was he? He's horrible.
I don't know.
Whittling a big steak of the in your heart
My father
variety.
would kill me if he knew what I was doing.
But this guy falls into some bad luck too.
All right, if he was right, then the only way out is for us to finish what he started.
How? The lid is covering her heart. There's no way to kill her.
Yes, there is, if we move the tomb like we started to do.
Gone. Our vampire has disappeared.
Hey! You men, listen to me. Hannah's out. Any man who's got a family, go home. Hannah's loose.
So Hannah's on the prowl tonight. Everybody knows it.
Get out!
Here's Peter with the school teacher.
Go with me, Peter.
No. I shall have immortality.
Immortality?
Happiness. That which you already have in this life.
Andrew Prine has himself a spear. I guess they're not all on the same side now anymore. Back to Peter.
Oh, I've worked for this day. Struggled to set Hannah free.
You mean you killed Chris's father?
He would have tried to prevent my setting her free.
Watch Hannah closely. Just when you think you've got her, she turns herself into a wolf. This guy's vamped out, but he doesn't want to be a vamp.
Kill me. Put this day in my heart.
I don't know. You made me dream something.
Here comes Hannah, mesmerizing Peter. He gets into a struggle with her. I don't know if that's garlic or cloves or whatever, but to the rescue. He's got a plan now to just burn her. Success. And a steak for good measure. The movie ends with a little creepiness. The little kid helping this little girl.
Did you do what I told you to do?
All right, Schlockmeisters fans, let's talk about young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires, otherwise known as CRYPT of the Living Dead. That's how I originally knew this movie. I remember seeing it in the catalog, then I remember renting it, I think from City News and Video, or maybe TNR Video in Manitowoc and Two Rivers, Wisconsin, many, many years ago. Specifically like 1985, 86, somewhere in there. So anyway, I remember watching a little bit at the time because it looked spooky and it was kind of had this creepy vibe to it. I remember just kind of being bored by it. And I don't think a lot has changed over the years. I've watched it with a fresh mind today or yesterday actually, and it's okay. It does have a little creepiness vibe to it, but it's just a little slow at times, and thought it could have been a little better. Andrew Prine is the star of this movie. He goes to this, I don't know if it's like an island or just some village on a shore somewhere, where his father, an archaeologist, had been searching for this tomb, and inside this tomb is Hannah, this vampire who was laid to rest there 700 years earlier. He found the tomb, but these two like protectors of the tomb killed him. They killed him, and then they put him underneath the tomb and squished him underneath there. Andrew Prine comes to investigate, find out what happens to his father, learns that there's this whole vampire legend in the town. Of course, he thinks it's all horseshit. But he decides, well, I'm going to get my dad out of there, pry him out of that tomb so I can bury him. But then when he goes in there and opens up the tomb, and he sees Hannah sitting there, and she looks beautiful, for a 700-year-old corpse. And then, of course, Hannah comes to life. She opens her eyes, and then she's on the prowl. At this point, Andrew Prine is a believer, so he goes and warns all the town people, hey, everybody, Hannah's on the loose, protect yourself. So citizens are trying to protect themselves. A few people got stakes. And basically the rest of the film is Hannah biting a few people here and there, and turning into a wolf and running away and trying to avoid all the patrons of this town who are trying to kill her. It is kind of odd because usually the vampire is in charge and in control, but not in this one. It's like she's always seems to be on the run in this movie. She has this guy named Peter who also is trying to. He's the one who choked or he helped kill the archaeologist earlier, and he wants to become immortal himself. So he's against the townspeople and that sort of thing. But ultimately, Hannah confronts Andrew Prine. They get into a struggle, and he ends up, actually, the school teacher, comes and throws some, I don't know, it was garlic or cloves or something on her to get her off of them. And then they chased her down, and then he took like this lantern, threw it at her feet, and burned her. So she burned up, she fell off a little cliff or something, but then they go chase her down again to make sure that she's dead, and she's not. She's all burned to a crisp, but she's still running around a little bit. So then they take a stake and drive it through her heart and presumably kill her forever. There you go. Now then we cut to the next day or sometime in the daylight, and a weird ending that really had nothing to do with the rest of the film. There's a little boy running around, and he runs into this building where this little girl is, and she says, "Did you do what I asked you to?" And he said, "Yes." And then he's like, "Come out and play now." And she's like, "No, you come in. I don't like the sunlight." And then he goes in there, and then she sprouts her fangs, and that's how the movie ends. Kind of an odd ending to that movie. But anyway, that is it. Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. I love that box art, though, with that wolf head on the woman there. But again, the movie's okay. There was for a sexy vampire film, they could have used a little nudity. This one didn't have any. It's probably rated PG. It is PG. There you go. Yeah, it's an okay little spooky film. Kind of movie you'd see on like a Sunday afternoon, movie of the week type of thing during the daytime, I guess, or even nighttime, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Andrew Prine was in this, the star, and I don't know anybody else, to be honest with you. Andrew Prine, actually, I think this is 1 year after he did Simon, King of the Witches, which film I absolutely adore. This one I don't adore too much, but it's okay. Anyway, that's it. I believe this is on Blu-ray now, I think. I'll leave a link to something down below if you're looking for it. By the way, this DVD, which I've had for 20 plus years, which was put out by USA or something like that. No, VCI Entertainment. VCI is actually where I originally found this movie in the catalog years ago. But this DVD, it looks like a cheap one, but it actually is pretty darn good quality. The picture is pretty good. So anyway, that's it. Check it out. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about Crypt of the Living Dead, otherwise known as Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. Watch it. Bye.